All right.
Let's get into the other
Speaking
stuff.
of squares versus sharps, let's get into our 3-unit bets. I think you're
Same format this year.
Yeah,
right?
we're just running through 3, 2, and 1 unit bets. I guess we don't really count the units. The units are more arbitrary. It's more a level of confidence.
Exactly. Yeah, confidence meter.
Sure. So what's your 3-unit bet?
3-unit bet. I think you're gonna like this one.
This is a
too.
sharp bet.
You're
We
gonna
are
like this
sharp
one.
this week.
Carolyn, our producer, might not like this one. But I'm gonna take the Tennessee Titans getting 4.5 at Chicago. Obviously, the Bears are sort of the talk of the NFL right now. What is Caleb Williams going to be? A lot of hype surrounding them. We're looking at week 1, a rookie quarterback laying 4.5 points. Like that in and of itself just jumps off the page to me. I don't care how good the Bears are for the rest of the season. There are some trends that back that up. Since the start of 2013, rookie quarterbacks who ultimately started at least 7 games in a season, they've won just 35.8% of their games, and they've covered at a 47.1% clip. Look, do I think Caleb Williams is different than most rookie quarterbacks? Yes, and part of that is because I think he's landing into a much softer landing spot than a lot of rookie quarterbacks do. But from a betting standpoint, the typical first-year quarterback arch is you struggle early, you find your stride, and you have a late-season dip. So I'm not convinced that he's immune to that. I think you look at Tennessee, I think maybe they're a little undervalued coming into this year. The really only question I have about them, and it's a big one, and I think it's why I doubt their season-long prospects, is the quarterback position. Yeah. But I think in this spot, if you're catching 4.5 against, like I said, a team where they've been hyped up all offseason, I think there's, this is just a tough spot if you're Caleb Williams to start your career, because the expectations really cannot be any higher for this Bears team in week 1. I think they struggle a little bit. I also love the under here, under 44.5. So for my pick, I'll take Tennessee catching 4.5, but I would also air people to take a look at the over-under as well.
This one almost feels so sharp at square. Because you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, it makes sense.
We're already talking ourselves.
Yeah, sorry. Looking at it right now, I got BetMGM's betting handle, spreads, whatever. It looks like most, the public is leaning, or the money is leaning toward the Bears here, so that checks out. I would add a bit of context or data point for your trend that you mentioned with young quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks specifically. I saw this on SI.com. Since the merger,
I love the merger. I love when they use the merger as like the
quarterbacks drafted first overall. So that's a very specific thing. But 4, 23, and 1 in their first starts.
Okay.
The last 15 starts, so I don't know how many years exactly that is, 14, and 1. The last quarterback to win as the number 1 pick in his debut was David Carr. Not Derek, David. I was actually at home this week. My mom's got a bunch of stuff she's trying to get rid of, so we've got just like a bunch of old jerseys. For some reason, either my brother or I had a David Carr Houston Texans jersey.
Nice.
Which it feels like maybe a valuable thing to put on eBay.
I was gonna pose this question to you off the jump, because is that the whole thing with Marvin Harrison Jr., the whole jersey thing that he's going through, and like Cardinals fans can't buy his jersey because of his like the whole Fanatics thing or whatever. So like that was gonna be my way of asking you what's the most random jersey you've ever owned.
That one's up there.
That's got to be.
I had a Tim Couch Browns jersey.
Nice. I had an Andy Katzenmoyer Patriots.
I loved Katzenmoyer. That was my guy, even though I hated the Patriots.
I'm still convinced.
I just like Andy Katzenmoyer. I would just like download like Andy Katzenmoyer highlight films on like Kazaa.
He's like
or
Bobby
LimeWire.
Boucher, basically.
And then what's the other one? Who's the Ken Dorsey? I had a Ken Dorsey orange University of Miami jersey as well.
That's sick.
So, all right, my 3.
What does your brother think of it? He's a Titans fan, right?
Yeah, he is. Oh, I meant to. I'm high on the Titans. I've talked myself on the Titans. I think my brother is a little less optimistic. I think, the variance is pretty high, I think. I like what they've done to kind of build around Levis. If Levis sucks, he sucks, and there's nothing they can do about that, I guess. But they've really gone out of their way to improve his situation year over year, including trading his backup.
The coaching change in and of itself kind of, I think it raises their ceiling and lowers their floor. Right?
Oh, yeah, because
like they were kind of
compared to Vrabel, right?
Yeah, like they kind of were what they were.
That's fair. Yeah.
And like they were a little bit of a becoming
The
an
more I
afterthought
think about it,
in
I
the
give them
AFC
credit for
South.
taking a shot, right? Like,
And why not? Like that, I think I said this a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the AFC. Like, the AFC South is kind of like sneaky fascinating. Like, I think it's on the rise.
yeah,
Like the Texans obviously are the cream of the crop, I guess, but the reasons that we're outlining, like the Titans are on the upswing. I'm pretty high on the Jaguars, and I don't hate the Colts either. I mean, we'll get into more AFC.
Of course.
So, no, not I don't want to spoil
don't wanna
anything,
spoil
but
it, yeah.
stick around. We'll talk more AFC South in a few minutes.
fair. Wow, that's a big market tease right there. Click. All right, my 3-unit play. I'm taking the under in the Vegas Raiders versus Los Angeles Chargers game.
I almost took this one too.
This number opened at 43.5. It's now down to 40.5. So I am not getting the best of the number, but I'm still going to go under 40.5. Week 1 unders, according to ActionNetwork.com, are hitting at a 65% rate over the last 3 seasons. That is in line with a lot of the stuff that we saw last year, right? With the unders, it was just are the offenses ever going to wake up? But we went pretty much the entire season without a whole lot of change there. One thing I've kind of circled in my notes for early season games especially is, where are you getting new offensive coordinators? And is that maybe a soft spot to kind of tackle, especially if the quarterback is new as well? With these teams, you have new offensive coordinators on both sides, so that makes me feel even better. You think with if you break down both teams, the Raiders, especially starting with them at least, bereft of talent. You look at Gardner Minshew at quarterback, Zamir White at running back. They lost Josh Jacobs to the Packers. They go out and draft Brock Bowers. He hasn't really gotten any first-team work because of a nagging foot injury. Sounds like he's going to try to play, but that, foot injuries that's tough. I don't know if you ever had a foot injury.
It's the worst.
It's just
I've been dealing with a toe thing recently.
drift toe?
Like I don't know. Like when I
sprained ligament.
But I've noticed when I was stretching before I went on a run, and I was like, "What's something going on at the big toe here?"
Humble brag while you're stretching, but
I mean, you're a big runner. So.
I don't stretch. So
you don't? Wow.
No, I don't. I really.
It's out of necessity, because if I don't, you better get Andre on speed dial to do a few more of these shows.
But that's like an 8-year running resolution for me that I still have not. It's just when you're looking at time in a day,
that's true.
Time devoted to stretching is the first to be like, I can do
when
something
you
else
slice
here.
off those 90 seconds or whatever.
I gotta answer some emails or something. I gotta look into various patterns from
so
past years.
When you stop responding, that'll be the first thing that comes to mind. He
Stretching,
must be
Mike's
stretching in that ass.
Sorry for the late reply. I was stretching. Devontae Adams is a stud, obviously, but we saw last year, like, he didn't have a great year and got frustrated pretty quickly. Jacoby Myers is a nice receiver, but is he made better by anything in that system? I don't think so. So I don't feel good about them. And then on the other side, I was doing a little bit of research on Jim Harbaugh's offense and what he's going to bring to the Chargers. One of the first headlines I saw was somebody gushing about the Chargers have a new 300-pound fullback. And so when you have a 300-pound fullback, it doesn't really bode well for your aerial presence.
Talking about the merger, 300-pound fullbacks, Andy Katzenmoyer, like, we are in mid-season
We're just
form.
a leather helmet away from really turning this thing into a time machine. So, I think that's a pretty good tell of what they're going to try to do offensively. One looked at it last year, Michigan, when Harbaugh was still there. They threw the ball just 40% of the time, ranked 117th in the country. And that was with J.J. McCarthy, who apparently everyone loves now as an NFL quarterback. So, I don't know. I guess that's a drive-by or a stray shot to J.J. McCarthy. But now people have kind of talked themselves into him being a better passing quarterback. So if he had, so my point is like if Harbaugh had that, it worked out. Obviously, they won the national championship.
Are there more like preseason overreactions as far as quarterbacks go, rookie quarterbacks this year than in past years? Like I feel like the McCarthy narrative all of a sudden flipped upside down.
Did we make that up?
Bo Nix is all of a sudden like the second coming of Peyton Manning,
team captain.
Like it's wild. And then Caleb Williams is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, whatever. But
credit to the Patriots.
I mean, we could be sitting here talking about them as we talk about the Mac Jones class, 2021.
Yeah,
it sucks outside of Trevor Lawrence. But
yeah, so I think, I don't know. I keep kind of circling back to the Chargers and being like, maybe it works. Maybe just like getting an adult in the room makes their entire operation better. and it reins in whatever needed to be reined in. I don't know. Maybe they're just going to be sharper in late game situations, and they're going to make up advantage or make up ground in those spots where they just shot themselves in the foot, and maybe just getting to like replacement level and above there makes a difference. But you look at what Justin Herbert does well, it's throw the ball pretty far.
Yeah.
Like you're taking that. I don't know. It's just not, doesn't feel like they're leaning into his skill set. It's a long way of saying I just think they're going to be a little sluggish offensively to start. Maybe these defenses are, not the best, but I think this is like 21-13 type of game.